There are many ways to navigate 2D drawings in order to frame on screen any area of a drawing you are interested in working on. Let's open a sample file so we have something to navigate through. Click the Open icon on the Quick Access toolbar and open Office Plan. There are two commands used to navigate in 2D, Pan and Zoom. Type P for Pan and press Enter. The way that Pan works is simply by dragging with the left mouse button on screen. This changes the viewpoint. In other words, it moves the camera that you're looking through, if you will. It does not transform the geometry relative to the coordinate system. You can pan in any direction simply by dragging the mouse. I'll press Enter to end the command. You can also execute pan over here on the navigation bar with this hand icon. It's very straightforward. An even more intuitive way of panning a drawing is by using the mouse wheel. The mouse wheel is so important in AutoCAD that you should definitely go out and buy a mouse with a wheel if you don't have one already. It is worth a small investment in your increased productivity. Click and hold the mouse wheel, and then drag to pan the drawing. Note that this is done without having to explicitly type any command or access any button which triggers the command. So using the mouse wheel is the preferred mechanism for panning a drawing. You can also pan a drawing using the scroll bars, but this is very slow and not very efficient. So many users like to hide the scroll bars in order to reclaim these little strips along the edges of the drawing window. It gives you a little bit more room for your drawing. So let's do that. Go up to the Application menu and click the Options button. And on the Display tab, deselect this first option, Display Scroll Bars in Drawing Window, and click OK. The scroll bars disappear and we got a little bit of more room over here on the right edge. But the tabs down here are still taking up some room on the lower edge. We can also hide these tabs. Right-click on the Model tab and choose Hide Layout and Model tabs. And you get a new button down here that says Model. Adjacent to that, there's a Layout 1 button. So this is an alternative interface to those tabs, which are the older interface. So this is the more modern one, and the tabs are a legacy interface. So we've reclaimed some screen real estate for our drawing window. The other command for 2D navigation is Zoom. Type Z for Zoom and press Enter. Zoom has many options, as you can see here. It also has two different default options up here. Specify corner of window or enter a scale factor. Let's try the window method first. That works by clicking two opposite corners of a rectangle. You zoom in according to how large you make the rectangle. If I want to zoom into this particular sink, I can type Z enter and then click 2 points right around that sink, and I'll zoom in there. Let's say I want to go back to where I was previously. I can press Enter to repeat the zoom command, and then use the previous option. You can also access the zoom options over here on the navigation bar. Click this arrow underneath the command, and you can access all of the options. Let's try Zoom Extents, the top option. What that does is it shows you everything that you've drawn on screen. It shows you the extents of the drawing. Another common zoom option is to use a numerical scale factor. So let's try that. Type Z enter, and then type in 4x. That will magnify the drawing by 400%. Try that again. Enter 0.5x. That will zoom out by 50%. But just like with pan, there's a shortcut for zoom. And again, it's the mouse wheel. So roll the mouse wheel forward to zoom in, and roll it backward to zoom out. Incidentally, there's one other shortcut associated with the mouse wheel, and that is Zoom Extents can be triggered by double-clicking the mouse wheel. There's a subtlety about using zoom on the mouse wheel that bears mentioning. It depends on where your cursor is. So for example, let me position the cursor over here over this table. Then I'll start rolling the mouse wheel forward, and you'll see that I zoom into that area. I'll double-click the mouse wheel to zoom extents, and I'll move the mouse over here and start rolling the wheel forward, and I can zoom into that area. I can drag the wheel to pan. So you see, the mouse wheel really is the most efficient way to navigate a drawing, by dragging it to pan, rolling it to zoom, carefully positioning the cursor to control how zoom works, and finally double-clicking the mouse wheel to zoom extents. You have learned how to get around 2D drawings with pan and zoom, and their equivalent shortcuts using the mouse wheel.